Doing today? Welcome to my photo editing live stream where you can submit your images before the stream starts, and I try to edit them here for you live, giving you some ideas or thoughts on what I think about the image and how I would edit them. Sorry, sorry for the late start. I'm still downloading the images you guys sent in, so that'll just take a few more minutes, but we'll get started soon. Oh crap! I did. I was downloading them and then I stopped it. Let me try again. Uh, 1 second. There we go. So extract all of those into the streaming folder. Okay, I think that's it. Let's see if I can pull those up. Yeah, I think I got it. And then let me sort by, yep. Okay, we will start. Just a moment. Sorry about this. Okay, I see William's here, Dan, Entry, good to see you, Eric, and Garrett is here, Steve, Rick, good morning. Okay, and I got a couple of nice donations this morning. Thank you so much for the coffees or direct donations. I really appreciate that for the new year and holiday season. I know you do it to support what I do here, and I just want to say thank you very much and Happy New Year to all of you as well. And okay. So let me know the video and audio is okay, and I will switch over to the right screen, hopefully. There we go. I'll turn this off. All these little pop-ups on my screen. Okay, so first one here we have is from Eric Lower, and it's a new camera, so I will download the optics module. So we have a GX7 with the 20mm f1.7. Oh, the little pancake lens. That's pretty cool. Let me adjust my camera a little bit. There we go. And looks like that's almost loaded. All right, so we will start here with Eric's. And looks like we have a barber shop. And just going to apply a basic preset now, which just applies optical corrections and noise reduction. But it doesn't do any changes to the exposure or color or anything like that. Okay, so it's a little bit of an angle because I see. So let me try and do it. What I always like to do first is the sort of the composition overall first. And one of the things I always do is I try to make the line straight if I can, whether it's a horizon or architecture. And then from there, I like to come up with a composition that I think will work for the scene. So I think right about here, a nice square crop should work, and we'll center that like so. Because you don't want to lose the idea that this was shot through a window, right? maybe the front door or part of the front door. No, this is definitely through a window because there's a plant right here. Okay. And then from here, I'm thinking may not even need this bottom part. What if I just came in and we split the scene in half? Yeah, I think that works. And I think the scene might work well in black and white as well. Because there's a certain softness to the image because of reflections and shooting through maybe dirty glass potentially. Let me check and see if we can clear that a little bit. Not really. Thinking. I think we could do color, but this red up here is a little bit, I don't know if I can get rid of that red. It's not really adding anything to the scene. So I kind of like this black and white frame with the black and white checkered floor. But if I just do black and white all together, I think that looks better. Okay, so let me just make it a little bit glossy inside, like the floor. I'm just going to pump up the clear view here and the micro contrast. And Eric says it's a reflection shot in a barber shop. Okay, so it's a reflection. Okay. Still, it looks like it was shot directly straight through a window because it's really crisp. Okay, so let's make the floor pop as much as possible. I might do the same with the blacks around the edges. And then I'm going to increase the brightness here. Okay. And then just a little bit of fill shadow here. Let's see. And let's make it kind of crispy. And just brighten up their face a little bit. And some micro contrast. I want to bring yeah, I'm starting to see a little bit of the reflection there. Let's see. I'll move this up. Okay. Okay. I think I come in even a little tighter. Okay, I think that works. So let's do just a before and after. And so this was the original image here on the left, and this is my edit here on the right. Yeah, I thought this plant was a little distracting, and these red letters. So I just kind of kept it to what I felt was the most interesting part of the image. And then just trying to balance the sort of the brights and the darks, right? Uh, so I wanted to fill the center with mostly midtones and then push the frame and framing to black and white to match the floor down here. So I think, yeah, I think that works. Uh, so there's the before, and there's the after. And then, of course, a little bit of straightening. Okay, very, very good. Thank you for sending that in. Um, Now, William sent a, excuse me, it's a goofy shot of a horse, super wide angle, of course. It's got to be like a 4 or 8 millimeter, yeah, 8 millimeter fisheye lens. So we can actually, DxO will automatically apply the correction, so it's not fisheye. And I can turn that off like this using the distortion button here. But let's just leave it on and see what we can do. I kind of like it with the fisheye distortion, so I'm going to leave that on. I'm going to turn off the distortion correction. And the framing, again, I think a square frame would work here. Maybe just come in a little bit off the right, left side. And let's see. I doubt we can recover much from the sky, but I will try. So let me move the dropper up into this area and push the luma in. Okay, there's a little bit in there. And maybe a little bit of clear view. A little bit got bled in. The mask is a little bit on the horse too, so let me see if I can just do a little negative here. So if you hit Alt Alt key when you select one of these adjustments, you can sort of subtract a little bit from the mask. So you can see like um, it's taking away a little bit from the mask here in the middle. So let me do that because I don't want to change the exposure on the horse. The horse is exposed perfectly, I think. But the sky, I think that's about all we need to do. Okay. And then, excuse me. Let's see, for the rest of this, see if I can bring a little bit back in on the eye here. Just want it to stand out more. Okay. I think I see. Let me subtract a little bit in here. Okay. Oh, Walter's here. Hey, Walter. um, he's asking, what if you drop the exposure a little on the sky in the fisheye horse picture. Okay, the problem is the sky is already clipped. So by bringing the exposure down, all it's going to do is make the sky gray. It's not going to really bring back any details. So just to demonstrate, if I just simply pull the exposure, you can see right here, this is all clipped. So all I'm doing is turning it gray by dropping the exposure. And there's only a little bit left, of detail, even in this area here. So that's why I'm not bringing it down too much. What I do sometimes is let me bring it down just a touch. What I do sometimes is I will copy parts of the sky that still has detail over to the areas that don't. So what I can do is grab this healing brush here and do a clone with a huge feather and maybe not 100% opacity, but I could take like parts of the sky up here and, well, I did it the wrong way. I'll take this part of the sky here, for example, and then copy something from over here. And then I can just continue that a little bit at a time. If I can grab a different part. Something like that. So that's what I do when the sky is totally clipped out. Since, the Photolab doesn't have like sky replacement, right? It doesn't have any kind of AI stuff. So you just have to do it yourself. And that's one of the ways I do it. So if we compare that to, not sure, I forget how to show or not show that there. So that's without the sky replacement or cloning, and that's with it. So that looks a little better maybe. So we'll go with that. Uh, okay. Now let's see. I don't think I really need too much more to this image. All it needs is like a meme or something, some text down here. Maybe pull the grass in a little bit like this. Just pull the, let's see, just pull the blacks in a little bit and just make it a little darker in a couple of places. And I think that's all I would do to this image. Okay, so let's do a before and after. So there's the left image is the before. Here's the right image. I could spend a little more time on the sky, but you kind of get the idea of what I was going for in fixing the clipped parts of the sky. Usually, you can find a little bit more sky to fix, but this frame, most of the sky was clipped in this frame, unfortunately. So I didn't have a lot of areas to pull from except this bluish part. uh, in terms of cloning. I might clone out some of the poop that's around here, it looks like. But other than that, that's how I would handle this image. So there's the before and there's the after. Okay. Thank you, William, for sending that. And let's see, the next one here is from Dan Ludby. Um, let's see. So let me apply basic preset. Again, that's just optical corrections. So you can see it got rid of the vignetting, uh, and it's just one of the things the optical corrections do. So I have a swan here dipping its beak or whatever into the water. I definitely have to correct the perspective here. So let me do that. I mean, maybe this Dutch angle was intentional, but it wasn't working for me. And then let me see if I can just balance balance the image a little bit. Okay. Still a little bit heavy on the left side. If I do that. Okay, that's a little better. Let me pull it up. Let's try 5x4. Okay. I kind of like that composition. And maybe Walter says the water line's not right. I see what you mean. It's a little bit off here. So let me do it this way. It's just because of the way the shot was taken. The angle of the camera wasn't parallel, or yeah, parallel with the bridge. So you're getting sort of a, perspective distortion to the left. So it gets a little smaller to the left side than the right side. But that's okay. We'll make the water line straight and the bridge go up then. All right, let's see if I can bring back some of this swan. I'm going to tighten up the chroma mask this time. And then we'll just push the shadows. And add a little bit of clear or micro contrast. And then warm it up a tiny bit. Okay. Let's do it more linear. So if I use exposure instead of like the individual sliders, it's just a more linear way to brighten an image, which is sometimes more desirable. Okay, good. And then let me focus on the beak and the eye here. And again, just tighten up the color mask a little bit. Let's see if we can bring that up. Maybe a more linear brightening. Okay. And a little bit of warmth. I don't think I can brighten it much more. Okay, and then let's bring back some of this bridge. Give it some contrast. Okay. And then just a tiny bit of warmth in here too. All right, and then I'm going to darken the sky. Stay more in the highlight area with that dropper. Whoops, I didn't create a new one, sorry. New plus sign. Okay, let's try that again. And we'll move this dropper to the brighter part. And see what we got here. Okay. And actually, I want to brighten this side up even more. What if I do a linear brightening? Let's see. Yeah, that's better. And let's give that maybe a little more warmth. I needed a lot there. Okay. We'll spread that all the way down to the swan. Let's move it over. Kind of give some thought to what direction I want that light to come in. Okay. Yeah. I want that to be almost clipped. I think that's clipped. Pretty much. Okay. All right. Just looking at where I'm at here. Okay, we just need a little bit more. Let me tighten up the Luma mask a little bit. Okay. Just want a little darker over here. Okay, and then a slight tilt. Oh, the building's crooked now. Okay. I'm going to export this one. Sorry, I don't know if I turned the mics back on or not. All right, I think this works. So let me reset this. And then we'll do a comparison with the output. So this time the original's on the right side. This is the left side. And I think that uh, that came out really nice. It's now a lot warmer, right? Because from your vantage point, the white balance shifted a little bit too cool. Uh, because I was trying to balance the white balance up here in the sky, which shifted it very, very cold. Um, so I think this looks good. And now we can see, a lot more detail here in the buildings and in the bridge versus over here. It's just kind of, you know, it's noisy, it's crooked, etc. But now we have good contrast here between the clock and the tower. The colors have come back. Uh, so I think that came out pretty good. Okay, so thank you, Dan, for sending that one. That's a beautiful picture. And compositionally, I just balanced it this way because it was a little bit heavy on the left side. If you look at the left side here, you have this tree, you have all these buildings, and this darkness here. So it just kind of weighed the picture to the left side. So, uh, I tried to balance this building with these leaves and this swan over here with sort of the bridge, I guess. It's hard to say, but I think it balances a lot better now too. Okay, and let's go to the next one here. And this is from Jeff. This looks like his lovely wife and maybe a grandkid. um, what a beautiful image. So what I not don't want to do is lose the warmth in this image, but definitely want to clean up some of the noise. So let's go with a standard optical corrections. It's a little bit of a green tint though, so I'm going to get rid of that. Uh, so I'm just going to shift it a little bit more magenta. Yeah, wow, it took quite a bit, but I wanted to get rid of all of that green, sort of that greenish tint that I was seeing. And then we'll just, let's see, if I make it just a little bit cooler. Where were we? We were at 37. Let's bring it down to about 32. Because it's just a bit too warm. Okay. So, yeah, that's the before and after in terms of color. So here's the before, right? You can kind of see that very strong green tint. And this at least gets rid of that green tint and just need a little bit cooling off, just a tiny bit. Compositionally, this thing is virtually perfect. There's a uh, slight perspective distortion. I don't know if that should be fixed or not, but let me see if I can fix it just a little bit. Okay, then a slight rotation to the right. Okay. Yeah, that didn't need too much. Okay. And then as far as light painting goes, it probably doesn't need much. Maybe just a touch more in here. Here. That needs a separate one. Just want to illuminate the face a little bit. Just maybe a quarter stop. Actually, I need about half a stop there. Okay, good. And let's let's just make these areas a little bit darker, maybe a little bit tighter. Just a touch of light in here. Here. Add a little bit more warmth. Maybe a little bit more brightness there. Okay, I'm done. I think I'll just do one more little thing here. Okay, so let me export that. And we'll do a side by side. Oops, with the output. Okay, so I didn't have to do much here. Composition was already perfect, I think, and all it needed was just to get rid of that green kind of tint that I was seeing, and then brighten the faces a little bit. And then also brighten up the tree, because it was just too dark over here. So I wanted the tree to glow a little bit more, motivating the light going onto the faces here. And then I'm probably going to darken back here a little bit more, but that's all right. I think the outside being really cool, like in terms of white balance, looks really good. And then far as far as the details go, you can see, oops, you can see we got rid of a lot of the noise without losing really any of the detail. I might have backed it off a little bit in terms of noise reduction. I kind of like that sort of softer look. Um, so actually, let me try something. Um, let me go back to the original edit. I have Film Pack installed, so I can just add a little bit of soft focus as well. Maybe not that much. And then go over here to noise reduction and just back this off a tiny bit. Like that. And just add a touch of softness there. Let me export that and see how that looks. Okay, reset it. So if we get in closer, yeah, okay. I like that. It's a little bit softer. So I backed off some of the noise reduction because I was getting a slight pastiness in the skin in this case. So I backed it off a little bit and I just added a touch of soft focus to it. You could do the same thing by reducing the sharpness as well. Uh, but I think that came out really good. So if we do it this way, that's the before and that's the after. Okay, beautiful image there, Jeff. Thank you. Or I'm sorry. Yeah, Jeff. Okay, and let's go to the next one. Oh, thank you, Roger. Happy New Year to you. And Paul says I need to go out. Happy New Year. Or Roger says Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Roger. Okay. Let's go to, and then Paul says I'd be tempted to darken the windows behind. I kind of like the windows in the background, actually. Just showing a little bit of interest. I don't know. I kind of like it. Um, yeah, I kind of like it. Okay. Just personal preference. No right or wrong. All right. Let's see. We got one here from Paul. Oh, speak of the devil. Looks like a riverside home. Wow. That river looks pretty full. I bet they're used to a little bit more of a beach area. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if this dock isn't covered. Assuming there's a dock under this water, that's something. Um, or maybe this is normal, but I don't think so. This looks like it's really high, the water level. All right, in terms of balance and exposure, everything looks well exposed, meaning it'll be easy to edit this one. Um, question is, what I like in this picture is mainly this tree and this boat and this window. I think this left side can go. So let me apply basic preset first. And then let me try this with a slight tilt. Okay. If I push the shadows a tiny bit, pull the highlights in. Let me do it with a local brush. Let's do it this way. I'll move the dropper into the bright area. Bring this down. Tighten up the lumen mask a tiny bit. And let's warm that up. Not sure if these areas are clipped or not, but I think they are. Let me see if I can bring in a little bit more. Okay, they're not completely clipped. Just bring in just a little bit there. This control line. I overdid it on the warmth there. Okay. All right, let me bring out the foreground a little bit more. Have a little bit of softness here. Not in sharpness, but like the contrast. Okay. Just going to do this a little at a time in here. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's see what's going on in here. Okay. Let me just fix these windows a little bit. What I'm trying to do is just sort of get right into the white painted parts of this window. I want these to stand out a little bit more, just to kind of give the scene a little more contrast. Okay, let me just push the highlights. Okay, that's better. All right, that's better. Okay. Might be a little bit too much on the highlights. Let's back it off a little bit. Right about there. Okay. Uh, all right, this water and these poles. Wow, this scene. I need just a little bit more light in here. And a little bit of warmth, maybe. Okay. All right. And then I'm going to pull in down here. A little bit of coolness, maybe. Let me pull the blacks first. I don't think I need to cool it off. It's kind of cooling off just by just a touch of cooling there. All right. Maybe a touch here. Let's see. That's a little bit too much. Let's do a separate one. I do want to touch more light in here. Okay. I need something here, maybe. Okay. This area needs just its own little touches here. Okay. And I think there's a little bit of distortion here. Excuse me. How am I going to fix that? I mean, sometimes the building is just, oh, I see. It just needs a tiny bit. Maybe go to the window. Yeah, that's that's good. All right. I think these points can be just pulled in a bit more. All right, I'm going to call it there. Let me export it because there's a little bit of something in it that exporting it I think will fix. Okay, let's compare and reset it. All right, so here's the original on the right. And yeah, this whole left side was just too much. So I think a square crop here works pretty well. It's a little bit dark still. I, I think I darkened it too much on this side. Let me fix that. I think, yeah, that's better. And just an overall brightening. Just about a third of a stop. Let me do that. Okay, reset this. Compare it. Yeah, so this image is a little bit flat, and I think what I tried to do is emphasize the little bit of light that we're getting behind here, or exaggerate it, coming in from behind. So as if the sun was peeking through more than it actually is. That's kind of what I wanted to do here. Uh, and then the crop is just simply for balance. This whole left side was not only not that very interesting, but it just kind of weighed the picture down a bit. Um, so if we do sort of a slider view, there's the original, and there's the edit. And I think that came out pretty good. Much more colorful and brighter. Uh, Particularly the windows were really. I always like windows. You know, ideally there's a door too, but just the windows alone, just bringing those out a little brighter for the building to make the building stand out a little more, give it a little more weight in the image. Uh, and then Walter says, "Is there distortion? Are you seeing the effects?" No, the distortion. I look at distortion on architectural type things. Yeah, there's no way to see distortion so much, in landscapes, but it's very easy to see typically with buildings. Now, this is an older building. It looks like with a lot of repairs to it, because you got new brick here and older brick here. So it's probably is settled a little bit where it looks like the roof line is like pretty straight here, then it kind of sinks in on the left side here, which would explain why they had to replace all the brick over here. Uh, oh, there's a nice little ladder or fence here. I should have emphasized that a little bit as well. But yeah, so I wasn't looking at distortion otherwise, because if you look here at this building, this line should be perfectly straight, but it feels a little bit bowed a little bit. So that's where I was looking for distortion. But what's throwing me off is this water downspout here is not straight. So that's making this solid cement here look a little distorted when it probably is not. Um, but yeah, so that's where I was going, Walter, with seeing the distortion was I look at the architecture, not so much the overall scene. But this building is definitely settled a little bit and it's had a lot of repairs. So that's, I think, partially this roof line is making it look a little distorted as well. And Paul says it was originally exposed for the highlights in the sky. Yep. And it makes sense because these are not really clipped, but they are very, very bright compared to the rest of the scene. So I didn't bring those in too much, but just enough so you could still see some details. But I think yeah, overall, the overall dynamic range of the scene wasn't too bad. Because even the shadows, there's nothing here. I don't think. Let me see if I can show it. Yeah, it's not going to show now. But yeah, nothing was clipped completely to black, as you can see in the histogram here. And then we're right up to the edge on the sky on the right. So nothing is clipped over here. But when you get that close to the histogram on the right side with highlights, you do start to lose colors, right? So even though it's probably a very warm color up in there from the sun, most of that color was kind of lost when you push the histogram that far to the right. Uh, but anyhow, yeah, I think that came out pretty good. It might need a little less sharpening overall, but I think it looks good. Uh, okay, let's see. What else do we have? We have here birdie. Looks like a hawk of some kind. Let's get the see, we have an EM10 Mark IV. Wow, with a 75 to 300. Awesome. That is the ultimate budget setup there, man. You're talking, you can get that set up for about $1,000. That camera with that lens, and you have an amazing combination. Okay, let's work on this one. And this was sent in from John. So let me apply basic preset. I'm going to do a square. And let's crop in something like this, maybe. Get rid of that branch. Okay. That's a pretty tight crop. What if I include a little bit of branches for framing? It kind of works. I guess I'll keep those. Hmm. maybe a little tighter. I don't like all these branches in the scene. I don't want to get so tight because the hawk itself is only taking up like a half a megapixel. So there's not going to be a lot of detail, but we'll see what we can do. Let's brighten the eye up a little bit. And see if we can bring out just a little bit more color. Okay. And a little bit of contrast. Okay. It's clipping. Let me turn off that clipping indicator. Okay. And then I got the eye. Let me add that to the beak. Like that. And a little bit of extra on the talons. Nope. Let's do a new control point. Oh, he's got his talons crossed there. That's funny. Just give this a little more color. and contrast and that. That doesn't need the clear view so much. Okay. Just a touch of shadow in here. And a little bit on the shoulder. Just to bring sort of the darker feathers a little darker. Okay, and then let me, just gonna get rid of this. Where's my, I need to make that 100%. Get rid of that. And let's see, the sun is coming in from the left side, so we will just give it a little extra on this side. A little bit of warmth. Okay, that's just personal preference. It's not really necessary, but I just kind of like a little more shift in the sky brightness. All right. Okay, let's export that. And reset, compare. Okay, so there's the original. Let's do a side by side. The original, yeah, you're really far away from this bird, so seriously, that's less than a megapixel of data there for us to work with. So if we zoom in to about the same crop, I think DxO did a nice job there, bringing the sharpness back and the colors and the details and the feathers. Uh, Certainly, just brighten the eyes a little bit. I think if I did more, it would look weird. So just enough. Actually, there's a missed opportunity here. Let me do one more thing. I just noticed. Let me. What I'd like to do, see if I can do it this way. I'd like to bring out the greens in this. It's gonna let me. Let's tighten that up a bit. Kind of like the greens in there. Okay, let me do that. Let's see how that looks now. All right. So I'm going to zoom. Whoops. Let me zoom in. Is that fully reset? Yeah, that's reset. I think that looks good. Uh, yeah, the greens here were a little bit flat, so I just wanted to just give them a little bit more bite. Yeah, I think that looks really good compared to the original here. All right. Let's see. Raw Trek says the crystal's talons were holding its prey, but not visible. The mouse or animal. Oh, I see. Okay. That makes sense because I thought that was weird the way his talons were kind of crossed over each other. But if he's holding something, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, we got one here from John Follows. And let's see, we got some animals. John rarely sends animal pictures. And it looks like a trail back here. I kind of like this. I like this left side. I don't like this branch coming in here. I would have gotten just a little bit lower. I would have tried to get a little bit lower and not get that big honking blurry branch in the front here. Uh, I'd crop it out, but that really takes away a lot of the it takes a lot of the image out. Maybe all right, let me just apply a preset first, and then let me see if I can get rid of that branch. Hmm. Okay. Too much over here. Hmm. All right. I think I'll go with this. I hate losing a lot of the right side because it's very, very heavy here on the left now. But not much I can do. So I'm going to work on this tree a little bit because the tree is really interesting. Let's tighten this up a little bit. Okay, there's that. Maybe a push on the highlights. I'm always really jacking up John's images. They rarely look anything like I think he intended. Uh, but hopefully you guys find it interesting. The things I do with some of these images. Like I said, it's all very subjective. But uh, yeah, this needs its own control points. Come on, plus, there. Let's tighten up the Luma mask a little bit. And then push the highlights. And just keep going. Hang on here, it's just yeah, it's just an exposure pull. Let me try it with blacks. Let's do it this. Oh, no. Need to make that smaller, maybe. Make this less. A little bit more linear push. Need it to be darker. Okay, I'm just experimenting a little here with the white balance. I don't know if I'm going to go cooler or warmer here. I think a little warmer. This needs stronger highlights. Maybe a little bit more push here and here. Okay. I need one more control point, just a couple of spots. Sorry, I'm getting all quiet. I'm really stretching here to make this, excuse me. Don't know if if I can get this to work. Okay, and a touch in here. All right. And then I'm going to add some light back on this side. All right. This is too bright there. Okay. All right. Just need some touches in here. Okay. Oops, not that one. No, I can't do it. I wanted to. Okay. There's a light patch somewhere in here. This one. This can come off a little bit. Okay. All right. I think I'm done. Maybe a touch there. And this. Move these off just a tiny bit. All right. Let's see how that looks. Mm. Okay, reset that. Do a side by side. Okay. Oh, John is here. Hi, John. John Yutze and John. John follows us. I was taking some trees and just saw the sheep cross over, so just took the shot. If I had moved, I would have been in serious mud. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's one of the things, right? I wasn't there to take the picture. So I don't know why you compose something the way you did sometimes. Sometimes it's just out of like, I don't want to get my feet muddy, right? I've been there. But okay. So, and then T. Dobbs says that he likes the overhanging archway that the tree provided on the right. So you like this arch. Okay. Um, and Garrett says, no need to edit. My best wishes for you and anyone else. Oh, okay, Garrett. If I get to it, I'll edit it. I haven't seen it yet, but anywho, let's do a split view this way. So there's John's original, which is a nice picture. This is sort of my interpretation of it. You know, a little bit darker. It's a little bit heavy here on the left side, so I made it darker and then made this side brighter to try to balance it a little bit best I can. But there's the original. And then a little soft focus. That's kind of optional. I don't think it was really necessary, but I thought I'd give it a shot. All right, John, thanks for sending that in. Let's see what else we got here. Let's see. Happy New Year for, oh, hey, Garrett, Happy New Year. Okay, yeah, you're right. This doesn't need any editing. Thank you so much. That's a cool looking bird too. Wow. I like that bird. I never seen a bird like that before. That's cool. Thank you, Garrett. Happy New Year to you too. All right, I think that looks like the end of everything that was sent in. What's this one? Oh, there's one more here. Okay. So this is factory. I don't know, but let's apply a basic preset. And wow, let me just see what's in this image. I need to brighten it up some. Okay, so we have some interesting steaming equipment over here and some big giant smokestack. I feel like I've seen this factory before. It just looks very familiar architecturally, but some train tracks here. Uh, what does that do? Oops. Interesting. I kind of like this. There's a little bit of geometry here I can work with, and a splash of color here. So I think I'll get rid of this left side. Uh, Completely. Maybe a 5x4 crop. Back off this. If I straighten this just myself, and give it a little air this way. Okay, this red. All right. All right, let me get rid of these exposure adjustments I did. I just brightened it to help me kind of compose the different elements. Okay. All right. So clearly we do need to brighten this maybe about there. Just use a control line to bring the sky back. Tighten up the mask a little bit. Okay. And then I wonder, see, this red wheels over here are bothering me. So I'm wondering if I just go to a black and white, that does get rid of it. But I kind of like the reds and greens on this left side. Yeah, I like the reds and greens over here more. Okay. Let's see if I can bring a little more contrast to this pattern. Like that and that. And up here. Nope. And bring this up. Bring that up a tiny bit. Nope, that needs its own. Okay. Put it in here and here. Move it there. Okay. I'm going to work with the colors kind of globally here. This red, I don't know if, just give it a little more punch on the reds there. Okay. Yeah, that works better for me. I just didn't like, I like that the equipment on the right side, but the red color just, this balance here. Okay. All right. I'm going to call it there. So let me export this. And reset. All right, so here's the original image on the right. And my edit, obviously, here on the left. So this I was debating black and white, but I just like the reds and greens. Those are nice complementary colors. And then there's this sort of neutral-ish structure here that adds some geometry to the scene. What was throwing me off in the original image, let me brighten it back up so you can see it, because clearly you were exposing for the sky, maybe a little bit too much. But, you know, this left side was distracting me, and this machinery over here was distracting me. Uh, so I didn't know if I wanted to include this right side and all the machinery here. This is really a separate picture over here. Uh, but yeah, so I think, you know, the way it was so dark. Why is that? What were you shooting with here? I'm curious. This was the, okay, your R50 and 18 to 45. Oh, you shot in manual spot meter. So you spot metered, I'm sure, for the sky here or somewhere in here. Okay, that makes sense. Uh, but yeah, so it needed a lot of exposure compensation in post-processing. But I think that works pretty well. Yeah, I think T Dobbs that there could have been there's potential here for portrait. I would have gotten closer and a little different angle for a portrait shot. This lends itself more to, at least for me, compositionally, this just lends itself more to a landscape perspective, and just barely landscape. It's 5 by 4, so it's almost a square shot. But there's the original, and there's the edit. I think that doesn't look too bad. It's at least somewhat interesting at this point. All right, so let's take a look at what you guys did to my photo. Uh, let's see, where's my original? It's in here somewhere. Let's pause edit. Gerardo, Paul. Oh, that's weird. Where's my original? Okay, this is the original. All right. So we'll make this the reference image. Okay, so here's my original image. It's just some Canadian geese at Hunley Meadows. A little bit of a pond here leading back into this tree line. And obviously a little bit of mist. I really struggled with this image myself to do anything with it. My edit really wasn't too far off what you're seeing here already. I just had a little bit of contrast and darken the water. I'll see if I can find my original edit here at the end, but um, let's go see what you guys did. So we'll start here. So this edit here is from Jeff, looks like. Wow, really strong contrast in colors. And then going to a 16:9 crop. Wow, okay. I see, I like the separation of the leaves back here. I like this part. This part is too strong for me, the reds, but I think that was part of this global change to get these leaves back. I like the very painted look of these leaves in the background. That looks really good. And then, let's see, another one here. This one is from Naturado, or Nature Do. I keep saying Naturado. It's Nature Do. Got it. Uh, okay, so a little bit like a 5x4-ish crop or a little tighter crop either way. Yeah, some good contrast here. Basically, not much else going on, just a really strong push in the contrast. And I like the work on the water here. Um, this is very similar to my edit. I didn't do much different than what you've done here, Nature Do. I probably didn't go quite as strong on the contrast back here, but in the front, this is definitely very similar to what I did. And then let's see, I have one here. Ooh, look at that. Nice, really nice black and white conversion. And I like how you kept the reflection here of the trees. Because this is really an interesting part of the image, right? Is this reflection. Um, oh, wow, I got a delivery early. Sorry. I was I got a notification. Uh, okay. So I'll pick those up after the stream. Unless you guys want to see what came in. Okay, let's see. Um, but yeah, I like this. I like this edit. I like this edit. You know, I'm partial to black and white anyway, but I like the elements that you chose. Basically the two elements, and you didn't really lose the tree line. You kept it in the reflections. So really nice job. This was from Dan Luby or Lubby. Very good, Dan. I like it. And then this edit here is from Paul Crisp. A little bit of softening. I like it. A little bit of softening and a slight crop. You got rid of this gap here, basically. And I think you were trying to keep this line. So yeah, that's a nice soft edit. Very, but it's more of a high key soft edit. Looks good. Yeah, Rick, it is always interesting to see what. I'm sorry, I thought you were talking about the edits to my picture. You're talking about probably my delivery. I'll do it. Oh, I skipped one, Eric. Let me see. Did I skip one? I did Nature Do's. I don't think I skipped any. Okay. That. Oh, I skipped this one. Duh. Sorry. Let's see. This one is from. Oh, Eric. Okay. Of all the ones I skipped yours, right? Oh, I like the white border. That definitely gives it a nice separation as if we were going to print it. It's always nice to see what it would look like printed. So adding a white border helps you kind of visualize that on your screen before you actually print it. And really push, really a strong push to the, kind of the orange red here on all the colors. Basically, you pulled out the greens. Interesting. Yeah, really nice edit. See, I see you shifted red and kept the greens, and you're trying to get rid of the other stuff, sort of the bluish cast, maybe. Okay. Yeah, this is an interesting edit. I like it. I mean, it's not how I would edit it, but it's definitely I do like how you did this, Eric. It's a really nice edit. And you really amped up the colors here in the background by pushing all the other colors. You can just see hints of leaves all the way into the back. So yeah, it's a nice edit. Okay. And let's see, I did this one is from Paul, the soft sort of high key edit. And this one, oh, this is interesting. You really pushed the sharpening up in the front, but you didn't push it in the back. This is from Paul also. Okay, and it's really well balanced now in terms of the composition. So yeah, I think ultimately a vertical would have been nicer if I'd composed this vertically in camera first, rather than having to do it like in post, like Paul is doing here. But I like this edit. Nice darkening of the water. I did that too on my edit. I'll have to find my edit before I move on. Yeah, that's a great edit. I like that. Great edit, great thought about the composition as well. And here we have, let's see, this is from Paul again. Okay, Paul, boy, you really like this image. Okay, this one here is square crop, and it's a little bit more of a, I don't know, I'm not sure I like this one quite as much, mostly because of the crop. The editing is fine. This is more of a crispy, grungy type feel to it. So it's a very different look to the other edits that you did. But I think the vertical crop you did earlier was probably the best in terms of composition. Okay, and then Paul again. This is the same image, looks like. I don't see any difference. I don't know how I got that twice. Okay, here is from G. McCurdy. Oh, I love this. I love this crop. This is really nice. This is a really nice edit. Um, really nice pull of the blacks in the background and just focusing right here in the center. So it's almost like a natural vignette at this point. Right into the ducks or geese, I should say. That's a pretty nice edit. I would venture to say my favorite so far. Okay, let's go to the next one. This one is from Bert. Let's see, or Berthold. Nice sepia edit. Very good. Seems like there's still a bit of color in here too, though, right here. Interesting. But yeah, good crop. Very well balanced. Nice edit. And a little bit of anti-vignetting here in the corners, right? Um, yeah, that works well. And then here we have one from Garrett. Yeah, another vertical crop. I think the vertical looks best. It's the most balanced. And this is yeah, soft black and white, but a little bit high key. Okay, that looks good. And the last one here from Marcel. Marcel is always really dramatic with his edits. So we have an old border. I think he did this in this, I don't know, this looks like Olympus Workspace, but you can't do local adjustments in Olympus Workspace. So I'm not sure what you did this in, maybe Nick Collection. But anyhow, Uh, this is interesting. This is a shift to the greens on the left side, and then a shift to the reds on the right side, and then the center is black and white. That's an interesting idea. That makes this really, yeah, this is an interesting edit, Marcel, as always. Very interesting. This is like, if you were to do a series of Marcel's images and how he edits, this would fit right in, I think. Um, by itself, standalone, I'm not big fan here, but ultimately, I do like what Marcel does with all my images when he edits them. Uh, he always brings something very, very interesting to the table. Okay, but I think honestly, even though I prefer the vertical crop, I think this is my favorite edit. Let me see. Let me look at this one here from Dan. Yeah, this is pretty good, but I think I think G McCurdy gets my vote this week as my favorite edit, if anybody cares. I think that looks good. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the chat section. All right, so for those of you still here, let me go see if the packages are still on my porch and they didn't get stolen yet. And I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Uh, oh, William said he did an upload. Let me take a quick look. Um, okay, there's a couple that came in maybe, so let me see. Yeah, there's a couple of new images too. I don't know who that is, but this is oh, Shakabe sent one in. Let me just download yours. I'll edit yours too. But let me open my stuff first and then I'll get back to you. Let's see. So William sent in, whoops. Let me save Shakabe's. Okay. So this is what William sent in. What is this Dutch angle or crooked angle? Wow, that's crazy. That's a crazy edit. But I kind of see why you picked this angle and crop. It kind of works. But yeah, okay. Very, yeah, that's the most different one so far. Okay. And then Shakabe sent this one in. Let's see. Oh, okay. Nice crop. Very nice crop actually, and good edit. I like this balance, and I like the edit because it doesn't over sharpen anything at all. In fact, it looks like you pulled the sharpening back a little bit, maybe. I'd have to look at my original image again. But yeah, this is a nice edit. Nice, clean. A little bit of push on the greens too, it looks like. Okay. Um, okay, Shakabe, thanks for sending that one. I'll definitely get to yours. Uh, I don't know what this is, but I'll download it. It's probably a virus. Okay. Oh, it's an NEF file from Mickey. All right. Whoops. I need to get back to my regular thing. And Eric's edit is very nice, keeps a bit more atmosphere. Always interested in what came in, yeah. And then Eric says, Rob, can you critique my edit of my shoot, The Barber? Okay. I'll look. I'll go back and look at it. But let me open these packages. It's nothing special. This will only take a minute. I think these are just USB-C cables. I always need cables, you know. Cable management, because a lot of the cables I have are too long, so I ordered some shorter cables. Oh no, this is a USB-C hub. Ooh, I got a video coming up about this. If what I plan to do with this works, this is gonna be an awesome little tip. Uh, okay. So what is this? I think these are the cables. Oh, crap. No, my cables haven't come in yet. But I ordered another. If you guys watch my shopping stream on Tuesdays, this went on sale for $10. You get 2 hand warmers for $10. This is also a charging bank and a flashlight in each one. So I ordered another set. So now I have, because they were on sale for $20, so I bought it because that was a good deal. And then they had a $10 coupon. So I got this set for $10. So I got 2 of these for like 30 bucks. So I think I'll give one away as a gift. Uh, because of, you know, David, I think I'll give this to David because he's always using these the hand warmers that you kind of break the pack and hold. He loves those things. He may hate this. I don't know. I don't know who I'm going to give it. I don't know. Maybe I'll just keep it. Just always have a set. But for $10, I couldn't not buy another one. But my USB-C cables haven't come in yet. All right. That's enough of that. I feel like the late night shows where you just kind of toss things over your shoulder. Let's edit a couple more pictures since I have a little bit of energy. And then I'll go back and critique Eric's. Uh, William's asking, what would you recommend? Ollie 300 f4 Pro or 4150 with the MC14 as a wildlife lens instead of the 300 f4 Pro all day long. All day long with a teleconverter. Yeah, no question. If you go to my Flickr page, I just posted a bunch of pictures that I took with that 300 f4 Pro and teleconverter. Put my coffee back over here. All right, let's see what came in. Something came in. I believe they were raw images. Is it this one? Yeah, this is Shakab's. And then I thought I saw one from Nikon. I don't see it here. Let me check something. I want to make sure I got it. Yeah, it's here. Mickey Stein. So View by details. For whatever reason, it's let me try renaming it, see if it comes up. Sort by name. LMNO. Oh. So, Mickey, your image, you need to re-upload it. It didn't upload properly. That's why it's not coming up. I'm getting an error here. I'll pull it up in Lightroom maybe too, but let me work on Shacabe's first, and then I'll try and do yours again, or you can try and re-upload it if you're still here. Okay, so we have sort of a long exposure. It's like 1 second maybe, right? Okay, 1.6 seconds, f16. So let's brighten this up and see what's in here. Okay, so let's not bring this in, but bring in this skyline or city, and bring in this road, then black out this center. I think that's all we need to do here. So let me apply basic preset, and let's go to the crop. Let's see what happens. No, it just needs, I need to manually straighten it. Like so. I'm just going to eyeball it. And then we'll use, just use a control line. To brighten this up. And let's adjust the white balance a little bit. Make it cooler. Maybe a little warmer. Okay. And we'll make a new control line for the city and the river. Let's move this up here. Let's brighten that up. Give it some clear view. Let's push the shadows a bit. And the highlights, maybe not that much. And then the white balance, maybe a little cooler. No, a little bit warmer. More clear view, more contrast. And maybe just touch. Just push that a little bit there. Push this up a little more. And Shacabe says, not just a single frame. Okay. So yeah, you could do this with a double exposure in camera, I suppose. A little tricky, but if you know what you're doing, I could see using a double exposure feature, a multiple exposure feature in camera to get this shot. But yeah, I think that's how I would edit this. Gosh, what a beautiful city. Um, Composition, I don't need to crop or do anything. I think we're good. So let's just do a side by side. Um, but yeah, there's the before and after. Yeah, it's just a matter of bringing up the exposure. I didn't like what was here in the middle, so I didn't bring up the exposure. I kept that in the dark, and just brought up, this and the city line, which is beautiful. Really, really nice shot and really good technical capture. If it really is a double exposure, this is a really good job. Really good job of doing a double exposure. Okay. Uh, it was a single frame. All right. So as a single frame, this makes more sense. I was thinking maybe you implied you did one, you did a multiple exposure, one for this and then one for the street. But if this is one exposure, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine too. Okay. The dark place is part of the sea. Oh, is it really? That's interesting. So you're saying that oh, that's interesting. It looks man-made though, the way the streets are. I mean, that looks like concrete to me. I can't imagine sand would naturally square off like this in the corners. I did miss these lamps here, but they're not lit up. But it'd been nice if these were lit up as well in here. So for example, I could just light them up manually, give them a strong hue, and then go back here and pull this back. Yeah, that didn't work. Not the way I expected. Nah, that doesn't work. Never mind. Okay, I think someone had asked to critique. That was Qatar on the 18th. Wow, that's beautiful. Beautiful, Shakib. And Eric says, I've got to go. See you. Goodbye. Okay, Happy New Year, Eric. Sorry we missed you. Because I think it was Eric was asking me to critique. Can you critique my edit? Oh, okay. So I think this was Eric's edit of his own picture, right? So he's asking me to critique this, and it's a nice edit. Again, I like the white frame. It's very different than what I did. I went black and white and a square crop, right? But this really is I think you can see Eric standing here taking the picture. This is a reflection of his shoulder or something maybe here. I would have brightened it just a little bit more if you're going to go with this, so you can see more of the reflection in the glass here. Maybe just a little more push like that. But overall, yeah, I like your edit too. A nice, really, if you're going to go color, then it makes sense to keep the lettering in here, and a little bit of reflection is interesting too. Um, so there you go, Eric. Sorry you had to go before I could give you that critique. And then I did try to light bulbs and reflection on my road edit. Yeah, but it didn't work either, right? Yeah, I'd have to really spend time with the brush and make it really small. Make the points of light really small. Let me just give it one more quick try. Let me find it. So we're talking about maybe just go much smaller. Let's see how that looks. And then we'll make a new control point over here and here and here. And just gradually bring that up. Make this a little smaller. And then warm it up. Oh, crap. Sorry. I was editing that and you couldn't see me editing. So I just did a couple of small points here and here, and then a couple of larger control points here and here, and then just brighten them up as I went. So that could work. That's a little better than what I had before. Let me expand this one out a tiny bit and this one out. Okay, so something like that I think kind of works. It's not perfect, but there's your original edit or original image, and there's my edit with the lights lit up. Okay, and Happy New Year, William. So far it looks like the weather will be amazing here. Awesome. Cape says, looks much better than my edit. Thanks, Rob. Sure. Like I said, I would just do very, very small control points. So these, maybe push the luma and chroma on these a little bit as well. Something like that. But anyhow, you get the idea. Because I made these bigger control points so you could get a little outline of the lampposts themselves, and then a little bit of glow of these lights falling onto the background and into the foreground. So that's why I did these larger control points here and here. Make these a little bigger, something like that. But anyhow, everyone, happy New Year. If I don't see you again, I will be streaming again probably before the New Year. Let me check the calendar. So we have Sunday. Oh, tomorrow. So I'll be back tomorrow for my normal, what do you call it? Photo live stream where we talk about photography rather than doing editing like we did today. And then I'm definitely probably going to do a shopping live stream before the end of the year because there's some end of year deals that I think we can get. And I want to talk about this thing too. This is just a simple USB-C hub, right? But I'm going to do something really cool with this. So you'll see that probably in the shopping stream, maybe tomorrow in the photography stream if I can get it to work. But anyhow, you guys, thank you so much for sending your images in. It's always a lot of fun to see what you guys send in. I hope you like my edits, and it's always a lot of fun to see what you guys do with my image. I'm going to try and keep this up through the new year. Because I think for those of us that come, there's not many of us, but those of us that do come in, we have a great time editing these images together. So thanks again for being here, and I will see you again soon.